I think it was just a video I was watching you, and it
Yeah,
was just another detransit, and I couldn't take it anymore. I was
me
like, I
neither.
can't support these people any longer. I
Thank
cannot
you.
deny that this exists,
Yeah,
because before I believed that kids were not being transitioned
yeah.
because that's what I was told. That's
That's right.
incorrect.
Who was telling you that? That
These
community?
this community, these people, they told me that kids were not involved, that that's just
Right wing
a
talking point.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know.
And yeah, and then they told me hormones are reversible. There are no side effects.
Oh my God. What?
And
What?
then, right, let's not forget, yeah, right.
No
And
side
then,
effects. I mean, this
yeah,
is literally the side effects.
you're a
What?
very handsome woman.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Yeah, for real.
Hey everybody, I caught myself an awesome one, actually a real awesome one. I had a little pre-conversation before, so I got really giddy and excited. But that being said, I love you all so much. Thank you. My channel's just, killing it right now. And I think there's a reason why, because I think we all together are creating this space to bring back truth and honesty and what trans really is. I'm just so tired of being lumped into some crazy whack jobby space. It's weird. Trans did a lot for me. It did a lot for me, as you all know. And it's why I feel very protective and sort of gatekeepy around all of this, because it needs to be for the people who actually need it. So like, subscribe, comment, pass this around, do all those awesome things that you keep doing for me. And this channel will keep growing. And I promise that we'll keep bringing these amazing guests. So with that, I have V this afternoon. And so V's going to introduce herself and then we'll move forward. Hi, V. Thanks for
Hi,
coming.
hi, Kimpa. Hi, guys. Yeah, my name is V. I'm 29 years old. I live just outside of Chicago in Illinois. Um, I formerly was identifying as a non-binary trans
Great.
masc person.
Trans mask, non-binary trans
Yeah,
mask. Okay.
or I like male presenting. I guess like it always switched up as we've
Sure.
seen, and it happens because and going with that as well, I want to clarify that I have been psychologically, like I've gone to a therapist and I've gone to a psychiatrist, and I am diagnosed with BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. And I'm
Wow.
also diagnosed clinically with complex PTSD from
Wow.
assault related items. If you can't see the little ticks going off,
Oh my
as we're going, you'll guys
gosh.
see how I kind of led to that life.
Yeah.
So I'm also in recovery from drugs and alcohol, and I've got about 7 years of sobriety under my belt from heroin and crack cocaine.
Oh, yay. That makes me so happy. Yay,
Yeah.
friend. That's not easy, especially
No,
heroin. Oh
no,
my
it's not.
God.
Oh, and now especially with the fentanyl. I mean, oh, sorry.
No, no, you
This
can say
stuff.
whatever you want here.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
Well, F fentanyl. I hate fentanyl, and
It's sick. No,
uh,
people are just dying like mad. I lost
absolutely.
friends. Yeah.
Actually, me too. Last year, I lost. Was 1 year since I lost. Excuse me. My best friend of 13 years,
Oh no, friend.
who also used to identify as non-binary, but in her last year of life, she was identifying as female.
Female.
I feel like she was kind of in the same boat as me as indoctrination, because she was the same person who pointed out that I was quote unquote trans. And this is what I want to make clear in me talking with you today.
Yeah.
I hope there is a young person like me or whatever, and you're questioning. Keep questioning. Keep asking questions, because as a biology student in college too, my teacher even said that question everything, because that's what helped me leave the echo chamber. Was things weren't adding up. Like, are you like me saying that I was
Wow.
a
Wow.
non-binary person, or I mattered, and all these things, and I was on the soapbox and saying these regurgitated thoughts that other trans people I trusted in the community told me what I was. I was, and let me want to preface on having borderline. I have a very shaky sense of self. What that means is I don't really know who I am. It's a very difficult thing to live with. Is it on the level of gender dysphoria? No, I don't agree with that. I believe I had body dysmorphia, and as unfortunately being a biological woman and being born in the 90s, a lot of the media in my life, Britney Spears was shamed for her weight. I looked up to her. Spice Girls, all these women that were my heroes as a young girl, I knew that I wouldn't be accepted in society if I didn't fit a certain figure, right? So
Right.
those kind of things kind of all snowball together. And I think I'm a perfect victim for those radical trans people. I is that like I don't know what to call them, but I
That's
think
right.
that's what it is, right?
Radical. They're
Yeah.
radical. I call them indoctrinators, but yeah,
Yeah,
that,
because
yeah, they're
it felt
indoctrinators.
like that. It
Yeah.
felt I never felt the joy that they talk, the
Me either.
euphoric.
I've been doing this for 31 years, my friend. What
And
joy.
I'm like, I've done this. I was flattening my chest with and I have a large chest. I have a triple D34.
Wow.
Last I checked,
Okay.
it hurts to bind a lot. I would take 2 sports bras, 2 ace bandages, and 3 medical tapes and squeeze these puppies down, just like because I felt so weird about my breasts. I don't know. I guess from all the stuff they were telling me
Yeah, that's what I want to
about.
ask you. So do you think so prior to you getting sort of indoctrinated, well, actually you did get
Yeah.
indoctrinated. Prior to that, and I want to go back a little bit to that, but prior to that, did you have any sort of body dysmorphia around your breasts, or did it start to feel more as they started to kind of indoctrinate you into this space?
It wasn't my breasts. I hated my body like
Okay.
fat wise and like
Okay.
shapely wise, and puberty was really hard for me. When I got my period, I literally cried and begged my mom to let me be a little girl. Like I told her
Oh,
I don't want to be a woman. I don't want to grow up. I want to stay little. And she's like, "Oh, honey, like that's impossible." Like thank God my mom said that to me at the time, but it hurt. But she's like, honey, it's part of growing up, but it's okay. Like, it's natural and da da da. Of course, now I'm cool with it. Periods happen, whatever. It's not the funnest thing ever, but
yeah,
it is what it is, right?
that's right.
And
That's
and it's something I can do and others cannot. So
right. Like, man.
yeah.
We'll get into
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
so let me go back a little bit.
Sure.
You're how old are you? 29.
29.
29. And so how old were you when you started to identify as
Yes.
non-binary trans mask?
24-ish. I
Okay.
was about 23, 24 because I
Okay.
was 20, a little after, I was 2019 that I started identifying like that
Tell me about
officially.
the group of people you were hanging out with, or can you kind of tell me how it started to happen?
Yes. So my friend who had passed away, we obviously, when I was getting clean, I lost touch with a lot of people, and
Sure.
that's the consequence of my actions. And I made amends, and we were talking, and she was telling me how she's was hanging out with her trans friend who is female to male, and he talked about this thing called non-binary, and had suggested that that's something that she should look into because she was expressing dissatisfaction, I guess, just with like your body and all these other things that could kind of lead there, whatever. I think that's where she caught on to me because she also had BPD,
Okay.
and
Wow.
she and I mirrored each other in a lot of ways. And I guess that's why we're best friends. So we were the only two people who really understood each other, I guess, in a way. So immediately, my best friend says, "You're totally trans," and I'm like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Hold on, trans is when I would want to be a fully
That's right.
a man,
That's right.
and I don't want to do anything to my parts down here. I like to dress masculine sometimes, but I still love makeup and stuff. So I was kind of hesitant at first until she explained, "Oh, that's not true. You don't have to do surgeries or anything." I was the same way, but I eventually want to do hormones, but I'm still like figuring things out. And I was just like, "Oh, okay." and she explained the pronoun things, that they, them. And what I liked about it personally, as someone who's a sexual assault survivor, this was my thinking. Well, this is a way to not get again. This is a way never to get abused again. If society treats me like a man, I'll have the world at my feet. Some like, and we both kind of agreed with that. And then she introduced me to some of these people, and from there they affirmed those thoughts. And gotta remember with BPD, impulsivity, y'all. That's like part of our
Oh,
criteria. I have this. This is the DSM-5.
yep.
This has all like recorded stuff of mental illnesses and yada yada. Borderline personality has 9 criteria. You have to meet 5 out of 9 criteria to be diagnosed with BPD, as well as over the age of 18. Because when I was younger, in and out of mental institutions, I was misdiagnosed as bipolar type 2 rapid cycling. Because BPD is I change my mood in a day. Borderline's more, or bipolar is more like monthly to month, seasonal, right? Like you'll have a good week of mania and then next week you're in bed, right? So it's a little different.
Okay.
That's what I think is key for these kind of people, because I'm moldable. I can fit into this space, although I don't have a right to, in a way. I mean, I was identifying as pansexual, and I will tell you, since 4 years old, I know I like women as much as I like men.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
as of recently, I don't like that, because me saying I'm pan means I'm open to dating like Dylan Mulvaney or something. And my God, will that never happen? Never. And I love women, I love boys, and
You're bisexual.
yeah,
You're bisexual.
I think so. I think
Pretty
that's
much.
what it is, because I thought by saying I was pansexual I was being more inclusive. I was saying I don't care what's between your legs, I'll figure it out. And now I'm like,
It's not
hold
true.
on. Yeah, it's not true. Because I did try to date in that realm, because on dating apps, when you put in non-binary, a biological male is not going to look up binary people. Like, they're probably looking for biological women. So in doing that, I realized I was having a hard time finding just normal people. I was finding people that I was meeting in this community, and I noticed they all talk the same, dress the same, say the same things. Like, I started to feel like I was in a what's the word?
Cult.
Like, yes, I felt like a cookie cutter that wasn't made right, and I somehow got into this club, and I wanted to get out and I couldn't. That's what it
literally
felt like.
a cult.
Yeah, that's literally that's what it feels like, and that's and I can't even say so. So this is how bad it's getting. One of my good buddies in Chicago is in the music scene. I'm not going to say what genre because it's very niche.
You don't
But
want to know.
yeah. So this niche genre has now seen an influx of these male to female people coming in. And which at first they were like, cool, okay, yeah, like whatever, like let's see how that goes, because it used to be kind of only a male space. Not that they weren't against girls coming in or anything, it just was kind of a guy thing back in the 90s when this genre started. So, and my buddy is like 40, so he's been around, and he's taking these kids under his wing, trying to like slowly like, hey, maybe you should slow down on the hormone stuff. Why don't you, like, he is so sweet and like gentle with them. He tries to understand, but he's like us. He knows that this is all malarkey, and they're all real transsexuals, aka Trampahalo. And but these people are not the same thing. And my thinking was the opposite. I thought you were the bad guy because you didn't care about these boys and spirits.
Yeah.
Well, who cares? Let them do. It's like, but it does matter because this affects real people
That's
that have done this, have gone through this, and there's an end game. There
yes.
is no switcheroo. There is no going back. It is what it is, and that's the. It's just really scary how they protect their belief system so
Well, with
fiercely.
that, you're right, and that's why I'm going to what what we said. It's very cult like. I'm not right. It's not a
Absolutely.
cult. It is very cult like, and
Like,
it's
yeah,
scary. That has
yeah.
nothing to do with what I or other transsexual people did. We don't do this
No,
as we don't. I guess what I'm trying to say is we don't do it as a team effort.
no,
Transition together. No, 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 no. It's a very
it's
individual space.
individual.
Very, very
I didn't
individual.
know that. I
Of
thought it
course not.
was. I
They're
didn't know shit. I didn't
Well,
know
that's
anything.
because they're not like me, and they
No.
want. This is the thing that I want everybody to see what she's saying and what I'm saying here. You have to see the difference. You're literally being indoctrinated. When I did it, they didn't want me to do it. They tried to talk me out of it. They tried to get me better without having to take. This is the last option. This is like literally the last exit.
Well, right. When I was younger, granted, I that wasn't exactly something taught easily around, but there were small like news stories. Like 60 Minutes did a
Sure.
special on transsexuals, and I learned at a young age. I was like, oh, cool. Like they can do that. They can go from one to the other, and that's that. Like it made sense to me at the time, and I guess I didn't understand the brain part. I thought you were born with the wrong brain or like,
Yeah.
but or no, I'm sorry, wrong body, but it's not the body that's wrong, it's the wiring. And
It's here.
I for a long time believed it was the
Here. Yeah.
opposite. Yeah, and that's wrong. And that's okay. That's why the help is, and before you used to have to go through a year of
Two. I had to go through
parameter.
two.
Yeah,
Two.
you couldn't
Two.
just walk in and be
Nope.
like, I want to be a boy. You
Nope.
can't do that. Back in the day, you had to go through a lot of therapy, a lot of hurdles. In high school, I went on one date with this really nice guy who is a trans man,
Okay.
married, having a great life. He's doing awesome. She was a boy to me. Like
That's
when
right.
we were hanging out, I didn't see any like of what we have now. I
Yeah.
don't know like what's going on
Because
here.
it's not the same.
It's and
I mean, I could tell by what these people sort of wanted you to join them. Did you feel like they
yeah,
were like sort of like, come be part of us? You're trans,
yes,
you're non-binary, you're trans mask, you're like all these things. They're
yes.
basically telling you who you are.
I was dating somebody who identified as a lady at the time,
Okay.
but they
But they're a
were
man. They're a
yes.
male. No, no,
Yes.
it's okay. You can say that here.
I know it's
Everything
so weird to,
because you've
you
been
know.
trained. This is fascinating for me to watch you even have a hard time say it because it's been actually indoctrinated into your brain, and you have to.
Yeah.
It's literally
This
cult
is
like. Cults do
this
that. They indoctrinate your thought process, and you have to ravel all of that stuff. And yeah,
they also go to the lengths of hiding information. Let me tell you how I figured
interesting.
out who you even were, Buck.
Okay,
Let me tell you,
great,
it was
excellent.
because of Blair White. People told me to stay away from Blair, and I owe her an apology. And if she's watching, I would love to shoot guns with you someday. You're a
Right.
badass bitch, and I love you. You saved my life. She showed me who you were. I
Excellent.
found your page. Then I found Marcus. You guys
Excellent.
are fantastic.
Thank you.
Like, you
Thank you.
guys, I'm so sorry I ever believed
Don't worry.
that. For instance, people told me to stay away from Blair because she's a conservative, right? And typically left
Whatever.
trans people stick together,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
And I'm in Chicago, not gonna lie, we're pretty blue out here. So of
Yeah.
course I'm gonna be like, yeah, screw her. She's
Yeah.
bad. She's bad news. I actually decided to sit down and watch one of her videos.
Smart
I
lady.
couldn't say a damn thing because she was right. I sat there and I was like,
Interesting.
she's a little mean, but she right. Like, I mean, she's like that big sister that just tells it how it is, and you're like, you right.
Because she cares about you, and that's the
Yes.
thing is people think she's coming off me, and they
No,
don't. So you just made so much of our points here is they try to keep you away from us because they know that the minute you hear us, you're gonna be like, wait a minute. So the fact is that we shine a light on it, and they don't want you to see that light. So they're like that. That's why it's a compliment when they say stay away from Buck and Blair and Marcus. It's a
Yeah.
compliment to us because then we know
Means
that what we're.
you're doing your job.
That's right.
And also with the interview with Scott too, that was
Oh,
fantastic.
thank you,
The
friend.
website he has is incredible, and I've
Incredible.
been looking since the WPATH stuff
Yeah.
came out. I've been
Yes.
trying to find resources and material. Google is so biased,
I'll
bro.
give it
It's
to you.
all it's oh, I have the path stuff, but anything else you can't look up really because
That's
it's in
right.
favor of them.
That's right.
It's
That's right. It's
scary.
scary. No, we know. We're very aware of that. Even on this platform, we can't say certain things.
I
And
know.
yeah, I get nailed all the time on almost every platform. Why do you think? And I'm not conservative. I'm not right. I'm a left
No,
lean.
and I was told you weren't. Like,
See, it's hilarious. I'm literally a lifelong Democrat. I mean,
oh
now
my
I'm
God.
kind of not so happy with
I don't know
that.
what I am now.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
I
pretty
feel
middle.
so lost.
No, we
But
all do. We all do. You're home here, friend, because we're all middle ground. We're like, this is
literally,
so weird.
I can't. Well, and I really can't talk about this stuff in
I know.
public.
I know.
And from what my buddy was telling me in the music scenes,
Yeah.
he saw a young trans person, straight up injecting hormones in the middle of of a show, like in the audience. And at first, and
That
he's
is
also very against drug use, obviously, because we both lost
what?
somebody to drugs.
Yeah.
So he immediately thinks this guy's trying to get high at a show.
Slamming you.
Goes over there and goes, "Hey man, what the hell?" And then the other guy's like, "No, no, no, he's just, or she's just doing her hormones." And he's like,
What
in
the?
the middle of a
Of a
crowd.
club?
Yeah, in a show. And I literally was like, no, that didn't happen. He goes, yes, if I did. And
Wow.
he was shocked that he goes, that's for attention. I'm like, no
Oh,
shit. No shit. How
nobody
could
does
you?
that. That is actually the most insane. It's dirty. You have to be
Isn't
so
yes,
clean.
yes. That's
What?
as someone who's an IV user who was. Let me tell you, it's you can get infections very
Totally.
easily. The
Totally.
needle has to be brand new.
That's
They
right.
dull after one use. It and
That's right.
also like that's a private. I would think that's a very private thing for a trans
100%.
person.
I have never ever shot mine. I've been doing it 31 years. I have never injected my testosterone in a place other than by myself, mostly in a bathroom, super
Bathroom.
clean, washing hands, making sure everything's so right.
Alcohol
I've
prep.
never had an infection. I only used
Yes.
the needle once. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so like straightforward and that's why I'm healthy and all of that. These
Yeah.
kids are insane. I bet they reuse their needles. I'll bet you. I'll
I'm
bet you.
sure. It's and
Wow.
you know what else I know, without saying too much.
Yeah.
But these kids are also selling hormones illegally
Thank you
as
for
like
saying that.
a
Thank you.
commodity, like
I knew it.
weed. Like listen. I'm all for getting your okay. Listen,
Disgusting. No,
I've been through a lot. I currently don't have a job. I know what it's like to be desperate. When I was an addict, I did a lot of desperate
that's
things.
different.
But
That it,
this shit is
nope,
that's wrong,
that is
bro. That's your
wrong.
prescription that you are giving to people who don't know for sure what they're doing with
Wow,
that.
I knew that was happening. It's
I couldn't
inevitable.
believe it, but
I knew
now
it.
I can't. I
I knew
mean,
it. It's so
it's
sad.
scary. I mean, and there's not much I can do about
None of
that.
us can do it. You know
No.
what? First off, that sounds like these kids are in their 20s. Okay, so number one, we
Yes,
can't
it's
do
about
anything.
18
Yeah,
to
well,
20s.
they're adults; they
Yes.
can do what they want.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they are not understanding. They think they're putting water inside their body. They are putting a hardcore chemical.
No.
Look what it did to me. I can never ever, and I know that, and I'm very solid in that. But they don't
Yes.
even. I just want to grow a little mustache, or I just want to look a little more right. And then what happens when you 3 years from now and you actually want to be a woman? What happens?
Yeah, and that's another thing. A WPATH, there was a video on YouTube of their frickin' meeting, a Zoom meeting. One of the doctors literally said, well, some of them just want a little hair and some of them don't. We have to explain to them that if you take this, it's not like that. But that's not what your buddies are saying. Everywhere else in the world is saying, oh, if you don't want a beard, that's okay. If you just want a
That's right.
deeper voice, we can do that for you.
Not
This
possible.
isn't The Sims.
Nope.
You can't just make how
That's
like
right.
I'm sorry, like this isn't a game.
Wow.
When I was desiring to be more masculine, I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking in terms of facial hair and things like that. I was
Okay.
thinking in strength and appearance of
Yeah.
no chest and
Yeah.
but still doing makeup. It was very androgynous. And I feel like we
Sure.
forgot about androgyny, and I miss her.
Totally. I know, me too. I was very androgynous for a lot of
Yeah,
my
I mean,
life. Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
Prince. Hello, dude could pull any girl
Beautiful.
he wanted, but
Annie Lennox, Prince, my God, we could go David
Bowie.
Bowie, Boy George. I mean, back in my day, right? It was all that. There's so many people. We celebrated this sort of walking. That's what non-binary really comes from,
That's
androgynous.
and
That's,
and I think that
yes,
was my appeal. I was
yes,
very androgynous to begin with, so it felt pretty good to just step in there. But
sure, sure.
honestly, like the reality is that I was escaping from my traumas,
That's right. That's right.
right?
You had SA trauma. You had a bunch of trauma. Plus,
Yeah,
you so
so
you know what's interesting to me, V, is
hmm,
I noticed a lot of other people who got out of this. Now, you're not necessarily a detransitioner, but somebody who just was caught up in it and then got out of it.
thank God I'm not a detransit.
No, I
I and,
know.
and I'm so sorry for them too.
Oh my God, it breaks every day. I
I
cry. I'm a
cry every
crybaby.
video.
Me
I
too.
cry.
Me too.
It's
It's
horrible.
horrifying. It's horrifying. So BPD, but what
Mhm.
does that stand for?
Borderline
Borderline personality.
personality
So
disorder.
almost every young person like yourself who's been involved in it, got out of it,
Yep,
detransition, yeah, I'm not kidding,
has it.
autism or
Uh-huh.
BPD.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
What?
don't know about that autism thing. I feel like the mom you had on,
Yeah,
brilliant,
yeah.
brilliant.
Thank
She
you.
hit the nail on the head
Yes.
because I think it's true. Autism is not a try on costume just like the rest of this like
Nope, it is
BPD
not.
I think is the biggest culprit here
Me
because there
too.
is no sense of self. These people
Oh, it's
don't know who
interesting.
they are. Shaky sense of self. Let me define
Shakies.
that. That's
Okay, great.
identity, right? So
Okay,
when somebody asks you, "Hey Buck, who are you?" You go, "Oh,
great.
I'm Buck Angel. I'm a father. I'm a trans man. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a speaker." You just can dish
Yeah,
that out. And for
totally.
me, when someone asks, "Hey V, who are you?" I'm like, "What the hell? I don't know." It also can happen where I don't recognize myself in photos. Like when I'm younger, I don't recognize myself because it's kind of like a chameleon issue as well. As I change personalities, clothing, style, hair
Wow.
color. I mean, all this stuff is
What?
just me trying to figure myself out. And then you get these disgusting vampires over your shoulder telling me to cut off my busts. Like, I can't believe I was that. Okay, so I
That's
should
targeted.
get into that. So I
Yeah.
wasn't ever going to do hormones, but I
Okay.
did consider top surgery
Yeah,
for a
of course.
very small moment. But some a woman talked me out of it. I won't say, but just a stranger I met talked me out of it. She must have been an angel. I don't know.
Totally.
And I just walked out. I was supposed to go in to like discuss it, like a consultation, just get like
Wow.
information, pamphlets, like see if that was really right for me. I was in talks with my psych at the time, who she pushed back. She was like, "What do you mean you want?" Like she was cool with the they them thing
That's
and
different.
respecting that.
That
Right.
means
And
nothing.
then as soon as I brought up like surgical stuff or and she immediately was like, ho,
Yeah.
let's slow down.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
thank her for that too.
Yep. Yep.
And
No,
yeah,
that's those are the mental health care professionals that we're missing because
yep.
there's many, I know them, but they're been pushed into a space. They're not allowed to say no to you. You
Nope.
know that? They're not allowed to say, well, wait a minute, hold up here, kiddo. Are you sure you want to do that? Like they're not
Yeah.
even allowed to say that, which is so absurd because look, if that person wouldn't have said that to you, you might have actually gotten top surgery. You might have done it.
I think it was also because she was not from the United States and she
Excellent.
was a very intelligent biological lady and just,
Excellent.
helped. Yeah, and I think it wasn't I so yeah, once I got exposed to Blair and stuff, I really, really thought about it. And then I had a friend I got into a little debacle with over a meme
Are
with the
these
word
people?
your favorite word, retard in it. So let me preface by saying I am a very dark humored gal.
So am I.
Yeah, I love funny dark jokes, and especially I love making fun of myself. Self deprecations like my thing. So the meme was very self-deprecating. It was
Right.
saying like another year being a dumb retard or something silly like that. And it was just this sad emo boy sitting
Sure.
on a corner with a cigarette. Something very like, because I was a former emo kid back in high school. So
Sure.
that made me laugh. I was like, okay, I'm gonna share it. This person identifies as non-binary trans mask. They immediately messaged me about the meme and asked politely. Didn't come at me. They were
Okay,
cool. They
sure.
were like,
Sure.
"Hey friend, just want to let you know that word really hurts. Like it sends me into a spiral for a couple days
Oh, it was about them.
because
It was about them.
right." But I posted it on my page
That's
about
right.
me,
That's right.
and they took the offense by a word. How can you give a word such power?
No,
For
because they
real.
need that. They need something. They actually need something to
Ugh.
be victimy. I really believe that they live in a victim space.
Oh
They,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
they have to be punched in the face all day long in order to feel alive. And the BPD makes me see these sort of connection, right?
Correlations. There's
They're,
correlations.
oh my God, you're making so much sense to me of why it's easy to pull people like you into this because
Absolutely.
you're like a blank slate on some level.
I'm moldable. I
You're
can be
molded.
I can be what you want me to be.
That's right. And you
Which
found your
is
tribe, and oh my God, everyone's like you. And oh, it's making me have chills. I can just see it all how it's happening.
yeah.
They're looking for people like you.
Yeah.
They're oh
And
jeez.
I tried to get into it, right?
Yeah.
tried dating people like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable.
Interesting.
It was bizarre to like understand what they thought womanhood was. Like I understand, like I can define what a woman is because like I said, I like biology, and I'm going to say it how biologically it makes
Yeah,
sense
you
to
are.
me as my teacher taught me.
Yeah.
Gametes and all that stuff.
There you go.
If you produce eggs, you're a lady. If
That's
you
right.
produce sperm, you're a man.
That's right.
Son.
Done.
Cool. Intersex is a thing, yes, but it's a
Over.
very, very small percentage, and typically they have either of the other. So
That's
it's
right.
like, you know,
That's right.
so
That's
I
right.
get that, but I tried to sit there and listen. That have you heard about the egg breaking thing? The
Oh
break.
my
What the fuck is that?
God.
I never had my egg break moment, and I was like, am I not trans enough? Am I? And I started like hating myself more because I wasn't like you enough, or I wasn't
That's
like
right.
Matt Marcus enough. And it's
That's
like,
right.
but I didn't want to be like Marcus.
That's right.
Although
No, I get it.
you guys look wonderful, but that
I get
doesn't
it.
always happen though, and I don't think that also people aren't getting is like it's not like a fix all. Like transitioning
Oh,
doesn't
that's
fix
what
your
they,
looks,
but the
doesn't
egg
fix your
thing,
what the
V,
hell
the
is the
egg
egg
thing.
thing?
I was looking at something and they're like, oh, you're a new egg. And I was like, wait, what's this egg thing? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
what is that?
Again, language,
It's
cult like
nice.
language. They make their
Mhm.
own language up. So you're part of this very special thing. And now you're an egg. You feel special. You feel
Right.
euphoric. Yeah, I see they're it's basically, that's literally what that is.
Yeah, I feel that
Wow.
way, honestly, sexually by the men who identify as women. I realized that the men that I was with dating at the time were,
Okay.
what's that word that starts with an A? Like they're men that get turned on.
AGP,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That.
autogynephilia.
I
Yep.
realized I was dating a guy like that. He would dress up in fake prosthetic boobs
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff and
Oh
asked
yeah.
if that was okay. And I said, if that makes you happy, you know, I love you
Okay.
and I accept
Okay.
you. And I realized like he was saying that because he thought he was trans or whatever. I think it was for sexual
It was.
gratification
Yep.
because he would ask me to participate in it just didn't
That's right.
feel right for me. You know,
Yeah.
I like women. I would love to
But that's
make
not a
love to,
woman.
but that yeah, it was not. It was
That's not a woman.
weird. It wasn't what I was
Also,
told.
really, really, I think you really need to. This is one thing I think everyone needs to hear here. You really always should listen to yourself. It doesn't make you
Yeah,
a bigot or a
yeah,
transphobe or anything. There is something going on here that you're like, I don't feel comfortable with this. They want you to override your own internal alarm on some
Yeah.
level. That's what they're doing. That's what is on some level, right? They
And
want you to get rid of your own alarm, and that alarm is put in place for a reason. And
yeah.
you were feeling something creepy and weird or whatever it was, and you were not into it
Yeah,
at
there
all.
was just slowly but surely these flags. And then after getting into that altercation with that friend
Hmm.
who got upset about that word, I was like, these are the people I'm surrounding myself with. I am 29 years old. I don't have time to
Thank you.
argue about a word. Like I I've been called
Wow.
I've been called a lot of things in my life, and
Sure.
retard is
Well,
the least of my worries,
it's so
but
stupid.
um I really thought, I was like, I don't think I'm non-binary anymore. And I literally, after having that argument with them per whatever, I I went to my Instagram and I removed my bio where I said I identified whatever, and I had the flags up. Um yeah, not that that's for me, that was kind of big. It was like
It is big.
I really like I'm not that. I'm not. And it's just
Did
and
it
that
start to sort of come in? Did you start to so you flipped to be non-binary, trans mask, whatever the heck that
yeah.
is, and then you started kind of hanging out with this group of friends, and you're all trans
Mhm.
mask, and you're looking at top surgery, and all
Yeah.
of these things are happening. Are some people taking hormones? Some aren't. Some are surgery. Some
Yeah.
aren't. It's all over the place, but
Yeah.
we're all identifying as trans mask,
Yeah.
non-binary,
And
and then
everyone's really smart.
okay,
Everybody
interesting.
has a degree in something.
Okay,
Everybody has,
that's interesting.
whenever you try to debate them, it's
Okay.
what is the
There
word? Talking point?
sure,
Like
talking points. Yeah.
like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
these
yeah.
same things over and
But that's
over.
the thing you guys have. You actually have like a scroll
Yeah,
and it literally has every talk
a
because you all
Bible.
say the same thing. You
Yeah.
all
Oh yes.
literally
Everything
yeah.
everything I've heard in the reaction videos that you've
Yes.
reacted to, or
Yes.
Marcus has,
Yes.
although they're a lot less theatrical than
Yeah.
the content people, but I've heard the things that they're saying, and I'm like,
It's crazy.
wait a minute, you are all saying the same thing. And
That's
I was
right.
like, hold up. I had to look up what nuance meant because no one wanted me to know what that was. And
Hiding the word nuance. It's so good.
dude, I'm telling you everything. And then here's another side to it though. Now people are saying trans people aren't real because of these groups of people. And
Yes.
that's not true.
That's
There
right.
are transsexuals. They're real. They're
Ridiculous.
freaking here.
That's right.
Transgender though, I don't know about all that. I really
It's
I
not
just
me.
I from the research I have done, because remember, gender studies is not like it's still a relatively new like field, like
It
added
is.
to curriculum.
It is.
So just because you have a freaking degree in gender studies, it's like cool, bro. Like I'm minoring in, I have an associates in science I'm working on. Like
I
that
know.
doesn't mean I'm a biologist.
But I don't even know. What are you going to do with a degree in gender studies? What do you go on to do with that? I'm actually I
You
don't
could
get
be a
it.
professor. That's about freaking
That's it.
it.
It's an academic space, so you have to stick.
Yeah. It's
I have issues with academics, to be honest with you. I mean, whatever. It's all good. I have a lot of academic friends, but they're very much in their own world, and they're very high. There's a hierarchy, and they look down upon you, and it's just a kind of more of a. I would say there's a lot of ego involved in academic.
I'll actually say I'm trying to become, I wanted to become a physician. I'm pre-med, so I'm not in med school
Excellent,
yet.
excellent.
We'll see. I'm kind of going through it, trying to get a job right now because I can't go to full-time school and do both.
Sure,
It's very
sure.
annoying.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But my goal was to become a physician for trans people, and now I'd like to maybe help
Oh,
detransitioners.
thank you,
I didn't even know they
thank you.
existed until you had an interview. And frankly,
What?
I resonated a lot with Jade because she and I were the kind of like indoctrinated in the same way. We had
Yeah,
friends that were the same way,
yeah.
both kind of unsure about everything. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I felt even more secure knowing that I was going to have a talk with you. Like, I am doing the right thing, because although I never went through testosterone or anything, and that,
But you went through this.
yeah, I realized that I was manipulated.
Right.
and indoctrinated into
So on
this
some level,
this
you are a detransitioner because it doesn't have to be
yeah.
physical. No, it doesn't. I said that earlier, but now as I start to think about it, you actually were part of that whole space. Thank God you didn't take the next step and
Well, they
get
were
sort of.
certainly pushing me there. I mean, it could
That's
have.
so
Think
sick.
about it. If I didn't find Blair's videos like a year ago, I
I know.
probably would
I know.
be without breasts
I'm gonna
right now.
tell her you said that. She's
I
gonna.
know. I love
Yeah,
her. I
she
tell her
loves
I
you.
owe her an apology. I'll take
I,
her out to lunch. I don't care. I owe
okay.
her my life.
Oh my God,
And
man.
because of her, I met you and I met Marcus and I met like I viewed you guys and I was like, oh my God, my whole life I've been fighting for the wrong trans person. Like I've been fighting for a sick young girl who
Oh,
needs help.
it's sick.
And I'm
Thank
not
you.
trying to insult anybody.
No,
If
you're
you're like
not.
me and you're watching this, it's okay. You don't have to be trans. It's okay. You're
That's
still
right.
special.
Thank you.
I think I'm pretty great even though I'm not
You
trans.
are. You
Like,
are.
you
Actually,
know,
you were never trans. You were
right.
never any of that was all that piece of your life right there. I wouldn't say you lost it. I hope you can use it as as a very
Oh
pro thing.
yeah,
Yeah, you
for
can use it
sure.
as a really great part of your life. But that being said, how many more of you are stuck in this space who cannot get out? You were lucky somehow something shined a light in your
It
eyes.
clicked. I don't know what day it was or what um I think it was just a video I was watching you and it
Yeah,
was just another detransit and I couldn't take it anymore. I was
me
like, I
neither.
can't support these people any longer. I
Thank
cannot
you.
deny that this exists
Yeah,
because before I believed that kids were not being transitioned
yeah.
because that's what I was told. That's
That's right.
incorrect.
Who was telling you that? That
These
community?
this community, these people, they told me that kids were not involved, that that's just
Right
a
wing talking point.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know.
And yeah, and then they told me hormones are reversible. There are no side effects.
Oh my God. What?
And
What?
then right, let's not forget yeah, right.
No
And
side
then
effects. I mean, this
yeah,
is literally the side effects.
you're a
What?
very handsome woman.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Yeah, for real. And then they told me that you didn't need to get you didn't have to get all the surgeries to be considered trans, but like if that but eventually you did because I think deep down they say that to get you eventually to be like, well, I've gone this far, right? I should,
That's
right?
right.
I feel like that's
That's
a
right.
thing. I could be wrong,
That's
but
right.
for me, it felt that way. Like they were
Yeah.
telling me it wasn't, oh, like I didn't have to, but I wanted to because they were. And
That's right.
I, s- they
They're
looked
leading you.
happy or they perceived they made it seem like their life was so great. And as I said, I never felt trans joy. I only hated myself more and more as I kept dealing with this stuff, which I think
Wow.
Jade said too. She
She
felt
did.
similar to that.
She
And
did.
I was like, she's my twin. Like, dude,
She did.
same. Like, I can't believe I was in it for that long. I think like that 5 years ish was about 4 or 5
Wow, it's a
years of
long
that.
time.
And think about it, if I stayed a little longer, I could have eventually done
Hormones,
that.
surgery. You might have totally done all that. Ear, river.
Oh, another thing they told us was that bottom surgery is completely like great. Like it will always come out good. There's a and if you do look up that on Google, immediately they show you a clinic that for some reason has the best uh
I'd like to know.
testimonies and
So
pictures.
that's subjective. You know that the best or good outcome. That's
Yeah, 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 yeah.
subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cherry
my
picking.
oh my God, it's not for me. I want an actual, real male working penis. You don't get that. You did not get that. Now, some guys are totally happy with it. Good for you guys. I'm happy you did it.
Well,
Right
yeah, if it
on.
worked out,
If it worked out for you, great. But I'm
yeah,
telling you, the
it's not
percentage of it being
always
good over bad is way
way
more bad.
higher. And I didn't know that. There's
Wow.
also I was told that what's another thing that was
Wow.
cuckoo bananas?
These people are sick.
Oh, genital preference was like I couldn't do that. Like that's why I started going by pansexual because
That's right.
I was told that was wrong, and I said, "Well, I don't care." And they're like, "Great, then you're doing great because you're open to and it's
It's
like,
such indoctrination. I can literally see Scientology. I'm like,
ugh,
they're leading you
no.
down the path. You have to read all these books and learn all this language. It's
Well,
language.
well, yeah, and actually, I was gonna send you this. I'll try to find it and send it to your email
Yeah.
or Seth. It's a video about a linguistics
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
professor, or
Uh-huh.
very
Yep.
big woman in the field, and she dismantles the ideology,
Oh,
not
please
with
send me that,
but with
please.
words. Yeah, I'll look for it. It was so like, it was great.
Oh,
I'll send it to you. It's really good. Because,
wow.
and she says it too. She's like, this is why nobody wants to have this conversation with me, because I'm going to remove. She's just going to take those words off and then expose their armor, basically,
That's
and
right.
then if and it's
That's
a fallacy. You got to remember, these people are protecting their beliefs,
that's right.
people
That's
have
right.
that fallacy to protect the psyche. That's why people are very gun-ho about their opinions sometimes.
That's
It's
right.
because they truly believe with all their
That's right.
freaking might
Yeah,
that that's true.
that's right.
For the difference, how I was swayed
Yeah.
was because I kept questioning, and I also was hearing information that was like,
Like there's something that you knew that it wasn't like, or
I
they
knew
didn't.
you weren't bullshitting me. I don't know how to explain it. I
No,
knew
you
you.
had radar. Your radar
Yeah,
was
it
going off.
just,
Some,
like
yeah.
what Blair was saying, what you were saying, what Marcus was saying. I'm like, why does this feel like right? And what I've been taught is like wrong. Like, and it was, and it just clicked. It just was like, they're right.
Uh-huh.
Like, I need to hear them out, because when you explained gender dysphoria, I was like, I never fucking had that. I'm not, what the hell?
This is such a great interview. Thank you so much. Oh my God. You know what you're doing for me and you're for all the listeners is you're actually giving us some you're actually giving us actual real concrete evidence that this is happening.
This is happening.
This is
Let me
happening.
preface, this is happening. I know it's hard to hear. I know, I feel like you have some people that watch you that are just on
Yeah,
the tiptoe to really win them over. And
that's
if
right.
this helps, I'm not conservative, I'm not Democrat, I'm just me, and I'm telling you, this shit is happening.
Thank you.
And we need to stand with Buck, we need to stand with Blair and Marcus and all these people, because they're
Right.
telling you the truth.
Yeah.
And like, you guys are doing it, you're not even doing it for like profit. I know, like, you do make money from all like the videos and
Believe me,
shit,
the amount of
but
work we put into this
yeah,
space.
but this is what I mean. I think, but this is a perfect example, because look at Dylan. He's making money off of being
Millions.
trans. Not,
Millions.
and he was just a
He's
year
not
ago.
trans.
He's not.
He's not.
He's not. That
Nope.
song, that song he just put out was an insult to me. Also, he's kind
Thank
of
you.
lame, because I already know another gay artist from LA who used the same set for his video. Way better song, way better artist, but whatever.
Brilliant.
I won't say, I don't want to cause any
Brilliant.
drama, but he's fantastic.
Dylan is totally so we can't necessarily blame just Dylan, right? Even though
No.
Dylan, it all happened so fast for Dylan. Dylan was playing around. Dylan was playing a role, and
Yeah.
then somehow it got caught. And then I don't think Dylan was even thinking about transitioning. And then all everyone just
He might
sucked
have been
onto him.
pushed into it.
He was pushed into it. I totally believe
He
that.
might,
I can tell.
honestly, I'm not trying, oh my God, I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but
No, you're not.
I've heard possibly that he might be a whistleblower, like he might detransition and blow the whole
I
pop on
wouldn't doubt it.
everything.
I wouldn't
And
at this.
honestly, I would
Yep.
forgive him if that was the case. I'd be like,
Yeah, me
thank
too.
God,
Me
like, do
too.
something, if at
Yeah.
least.
Do
But
something. He's
what
doing
really,
so much damage. It's horrible.
one key thing I do want to point out before, I'm very upset about the Lady Gaga thing, because
I know. It's
Gaga is
sad.
a huge influence in my life as a kid. And I cried when I saw that
Oh,
fucking post.
I know. I'm
Like,
so
I know
sorry.
she's coming from I know her. I know she's
Yeah,
coming from a place of
I
love,
agree. I
but she
agree.
does not know. And I
No,
hope
she
if she
doesn't.
even watches this, don't listen, please. Like,
It's already gone.
and
You have to understand she's surrounded by a group of
a
people.
bubble.
She never gets out of that
It
100%.
just
And
breaks my heart.
it
Like,
does. It
I
sucks.
can't.
It sucks.
It's like,
Yeah.
and then I'm labeled a hater. I'm labeled a
Well, I am too, so you can
transphobe.
just join the hater club. We don't
Yeah,
care. You
yeah,
know what?
well,
No,
at this
Frank,
point,
you are going to save a kid. So
I
that's
hope
all you
so.
need to know. You
I
are
hope
going,
so.
you're doing the work. You are a hero. You are an actual hero for stepping up and saying something that you are so scared to say, which is also ridiculous.
I
But you
know.
have to know that I
I
value you a lot. You are going to save somebody. That's what you are, the hero, not Lady Gaga,
oh,
not Dylan Mulvaney, not any you, as somebody who said, no, this is wrong. That's called integrity. Those
yeah.
people don't have any integrity. You
Honestly,
do.
yeah. You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me to lie about this shit.
That's why you're a
I
hero.
like. I thought about maybe like I have a YouTube channel. Like
Great.
I don't I post like schoolwork on there, nothing
Okay.
really like big. But
Okay.
I thought about, well, why don't I start posting like Buck does, and maybe I'll help, because I found so many people because of you that
Yeah.
we've interviewed,
Yeah.
or people in the comments that do the same thing as you that
Great.
are also trans men who I love. Um,
Great.
and I love
Great.
hearing it, because there's if I feel confident knowing there's more of us, right?
Thank you. That's
Like
right.
there is a community of us, but my
There
God, it's like
is.
we're sheltered, because if we step out, you're immediately. I mean, I'm currently looking for a job. I hope
You'll
this
get a job.
doesn't
You're smart and
she's a
don't.
transphobe, don't hire her.
No, it's the opposite, by the way. Just so you know, people won't hire people with pronouns in their bio. So don't put pronouns in your bio. They won't. It's actually
Good.
happening. I see it because these
Thank
people are
God.
making because
Because
I'm
I'm
a
making
I'm a,
a
I'm a
stink at the
business owner. You
office.
don't want to hire somebody that you could possibly get into trouble with. Like that, now,
Oh,
anyone with pronouns in their bio won't get hired. So don't put pronouns in your
oh
bio.
no, I haven't. And
Don't.
I've even removed my preferred name that
There
I
you
used to
go.
go by.
There you go. There you go.
I'm thinking about renouncing that name as well.
Just be a she, go get a
Yeah,
job because
like,
you're a badass. Get a job because you're a badass, not because you're a
oh,
non-binary
just to
weirdo.
clarify too, as someone who does have disabilities, I still want to work. And I've been seeing a lot of videos of these young girls screaming in their bedroom that their
I
mother
know.
pays for.
I know.
I have schizophrenia and you
I
misgender me. I'm like,
bullshit.
I'm sorry, I'm half Mexican. My father would be in the room with a chancla being like,
Oh
what
no,
the fuck are you talking about? Go to
that's
work,
right.
go to
That's right.
school.
That's
Like,
right.
you don't do that. Like, these
Nope.
people took care of you your whole life. And I know some parents are abusive, right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But
But I think this girl has a
no,
very nice life,
I bet
and
you
she
she
had the
does.
privilege to choose the
That's
identity or
right.
whatever the hell she's going through.
That's
And to
right.
post it on TikTok already tells me what the
It's a
kind of
lie. It's a
it's a
lie.
bullshit. And you're
Bullshit.
making people like me who have mental disorders that have actually studied and actually gone to doctors,
That's
you make
right.
me look bad, and it
That's
hurts
right.
me.
It should hurt you.
I don't want to pass out. I don't want special
But you see what it
treatment.
does is it reflects on you just as the fake trans community reflects on me. Now everybody hates trans people. I
Right, or
haven't
you
had
didn't
ever
exist.
well, yeah,
Like
or I don't exist, or you know what I mean, or I'm just a woman and you call me she. I've never been completely misgendered more in my life than the last 5 to 10 years. And it's because of this trans community. I lived a great life before this, right? No one even knew. I was just doing my thing and it was all awesome. Nobody hated me. It was
can I
awesome.
ask you
Yeah.
something? Is
Yeah.
so what is I feel like passing is not a bad thing. I think
It's
that's
it's the
important.
it's the
I
goal. It's the
Right. So
actual goal.
why do they like
Because they're not really trans. Your
this is
dysphoria makes you want to look like a
but
man or a
right,
woman.
right.
Yeah, that's
It
it.
it
They don't
just
have
blew me.
dysphoria
It always blew me, because it's like, well, why is that like a bad thing? Because that like you
because
said,
they
it's the
don't want to do
goal.
because here's the deal because this takes a lot of work, right? It
Yeah.
takes years and years of work
Yeah.
and everything and focus and they're not trans. They just want the label of trans. So you see, I don't identify as a trans person, V. I identify as a man and they identify as trans. That's why I have to show you the difference between transsexual doesn't identify as trans. A trans person identifies as trans.
Right. And
That's the
okay.
difference. Yeah.
So transsexual definitely, I know that is
Transsexual
not
is
the same.
medical because they call us true
Medical.
scum. They call us all those medical names. Yeah, I'm a medicalized person who has a
But isn't
disorder.
that better? Because that's
Yes.
true. See what I mean? I was questioning this shit. I was like, but isn't it like this? And then I was gently corrected. Nobody, that was another thing. Nobody ever was yelling at me.
Okay,
They were
great.
like, "Oh, you're just a baby trans, you're a baby gay, you don't
Yeah,
know."
because they
Okay,
don't
let
want
me
you to
tell
get
you.
upset. So
Right,
they're
because
stroking
they
you.
want
It's
to build
okay.
the trust.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. It's the
And
same shit.
and yeah, and it was a lot, and I'll tell you, it's coming into my other communities. I'm a big anime person.
Okay,
I'm a
great.
big
Yeah.
I collect dolls that are
Okay.
Japanese. They're
Yep. Yep.
vinyl. So
Yep.
this is a big community, and there's a
Yep.
lot of people in there that are also
I
identifying
know.
as that, and
I
it's
know.
starting to
My
creep into my
son,
stuff.
my son is 11 and he's
Oh
all
my
into
god,
anime
yeah.
and he loves those dolls. I'm taking him to Japan in June and I know it's
Oh
going to
my
be
god, if you
amazing.
need recommendations,
Yes.
I
Yes.
will help.
Please do that. Oh
I
my
love
God.
Japan.
Excellent. So we're gonna
Yeah,
anyway, my point being he's 11 and into it and he knows
it's
non-binary is
great.
ridiculous. I'm like,
Thank
dude, are there
God.
non-binary kids at your school? He's like, and it's fake. He goes, I know.
Well, I'll tell you, my niece, who's your son's
Yeah.
age, she's about there.
Yeah.
No, she's 13 now.
Okay.
13.
Yeah.
She, when was 8, she came home from school and said that she was a lesbian, and we all looked at her and we're like,
What?
"Do you even know?" And me, the gay one in the family's
Totally.
ears perk up, like, "What?"
Eight?
Like,
At 8?
yeah, because I was like, "Huh?
No,
You don't even know what
they don't.
anything
Where are they
is."
getting
Okay,
that word? Where are they getting the word
so when we
lesbian?
ask her, right? We ask her, I'm like, "Where did you hear that?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "I don't even know what that is,
My
but my
friends
friends say
say
that that's cool now." And I was like, "Hold up.
Holy
So it's
sh-
cool to be gay now?" When I was in high school, I was terrified of anyone knowing that I liked girls
Th-
because it was not fun to be gay in high school.
But the fact that an 8-year-old is coming home saying I'm a
Right.
lesbian, but I don't know what it
It's
is, but
TikTok.
it
It's
is.
TikTok.
She's on TikTok.
Yeah,
Wow, she should
well,
not be on
she should not
TikTok.
be.
No,
I
my
I
kid isn't. No way.
I'm on TikTok
That's
because
Timmy, you're an adult. You can be
yeah,
on
but I
TikTok.
shouldn't, dude. That
I'm
shit's
on
so
TikTok. I'm
toxic.
on
Yeah, but
TikTok.
we need you on there.
Yeah, but the point being is like I hate it. It's the most toxic
It's so
environment ever. I
gross.
hate it.
It takes the
But
life out of me.
it's sick. It's actually a sick app. It really is. But that being said, no child. My kid's never going on TikTok. I don't care what
Mm-mm.
anybody says. I bought him a PlayStation. Here, you can have PlayStation. You cannot have
That's so
TikTok.
much better.
Oh my God. Like, no, he's
So
just
much
playing his
better.
game. We play
Play some
games.
GoldenEye. Forget about it.
Yeah, totally. It's sick. But that's an indoctrination app. I really do
Yes.
think that.
So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and and it started out, I noticed it coming in because as I was getting sober book in Chicago, I was going to a lot of LGBTQ
Okay.
AA
Meetings.
meetings,
Okay.
which were
Okay.
really cool, right? Because you think
Sure.
best of both worlds.
That's right.
And I slowly but surely was meeting more and more of these kinds of, I want to call them in-betweeners. Like
Totally.
they're just
Totally.
not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
They're
not
fake.
who they say they are, but they are. I don't
They're
know.
fake.
Exactly.
They
So
are.
I was meeting more of these people, and like I said, it just all clicked, and I realized that this isn't legit. I think there should be a separation. There
Yep.
should
Thank
not be
you.
an umbrella for
No.
trans.
Thank
That's
you.
wrong because
Thank you.
it honestly, as someone who's thinking ethically too, that would kind of like take away from your
It does.
medicalization.
Thank you.
Because if you're saying I don't have to do those things to be like Buck, what the hell's the difference between me and Buck?
That's
There's a lot of
right.
difference.
There's a
There's a huge difference.
your group was an identity group like punk rock or emo or
Yeah,
whatever. It was all about that.
yeah.
My group is a medical condition that we understand we have a problem. We have to fix that problem in order to move forward. I'm 31 years ago I did this and I have a
hmm
beautiful life. That's what
And
it's supposed to do for you.
and that's
Isn't
the thing about all the elder gays I know, and
They're
all
all
the
like
elders
this.
I've talked to are
Yeah,
like you.
that's
And
right.
some of them
That's right.
pass so well. I'm like, holy shit, I had no idea. And
That's
they
right.
love showing their pictures, like, yeah, I used to
That's
look like
right. I
this.
used to be a lady.
Yeah. And it's so, but they're so secure in
That's
themselves
right.
that it doesn't, I see there is a huge difference
Thank
between
you.
like you and the
Thank you.
weird guy, I don't even know, pink
This is
hair. It's like, I'm gonna punch every transphobe in the face.
oh
I'm like,
my
you sound like
God.
a little boy who's like,
A sick
it's
person.
weird.
You're so
You know,
violent.
Yeah, that's another thing too that was hidden from me as well. I was told how peaceful we are, how we peaceful
Oh
protest.
my
I've
God.
been to a couple protests, and things were pretty lax for the most part. I never saw anything out of
Because nobody
pocket.
pushed back on them. But the minute they go to a space where people are like, don't trans kids, they lose their shit and they
And I've
become
seen
violent.
it
Yeah, they do.
online, but I never saw it in person.
Well,
So what
that's
do
good.
I don't believe it, right? I'm not, if
Right.
I didn't see it,
That's
I'm not
right.
going to believe it
That's right.
until I
That's right.
started watching this content. Unfortunately, I think what's causing a little hesitation from
Yeah.
people to cross to our side, I guess you want to say,
Yeah.
is the fact that the only people that are listening right now are conservative
I
people.
know.
And
How do you
it
think it makes
sucks,
it
but for
does?
once we actually agree on something. So
But
let's say, hell
it's
yeah, come
flipped.
over.
No, it's I'll tell you, I've been on a ton of conservative talk shows, everything from Fox News to TV.
I know.
And I'm not a conservative, but
I
they're willing.
know.
This is what people need to know. They're willing to have the conversation. I built a bridge with them. They don't
Yeah.
hate me. They don't hate
Yeah.
me in any way, shape, or form. They're like, Buck, do your thing. Do your
We
thing, dude.
and I think the more we hear people like you go on those shows, I wish these uh Democratic people would get over that
They
and
won't.
stop being afraid and just
They won't.
push back. I can't believe Biden said that stuff about the next girl,
Oh my
the
God.
non-binary girl.
Okay, he's dumb. He's dumb. He's
I know
dumb.
not to get too crazy about politics, but I'm just like,
He's
dude,
dumb.
don't do that.
But it's not
You're
him.
fuel
It's
to
the
the
people.
fire.
It's
Oh
the
yeah.
people
Oh
behind
yeah.
him. He doesn't know what he's doing. That being
Yeah.
said, that's even scarier because the people
Yeah.
behind him are the ones pushing this whole agenda. They're pushing the LGBT, they're pushing all of this nonsense. And because there's money involved, there's big money involved in all big pharma, all of it.
It is, and it's
It's sick.
definitely it's money, and it goes hand in hand with other things like addiction.
That's
I
right.
feel like
That's right.
I feel like there's correlations between bipolar, BPD,
Yep.
bipolar,
Right.
addiction, autism. I think these victims are easy targets
That's
as
right.
well for these people.
That's right.
So for parents, if your kid comes home and starts talking like this, I would just start reassuring them that that's not the case, and take them to therapy and let them know that life is so much more than your gender. Life is so
Thank
much
you.
more than who you are. So much. Why would you limit yourself
Thank
like
you.
that? Why
Thank you.
would you limit yourself to to self-hatred because you're not trans enough? My God, you're preparing an own hurdle
Well,
that
that's what they're doing. They're hitting kids like you who have situations going
they're
on,
literally
or
poisoning
that's
our
right. But it's a
minds.
very specific group of people that they're targeting, and they're being sucked into this. And now parents are being sucked into it.
Well, I wanted to pierce my lip at 13, and my
I kn-
mom said,
we
tough
all say that.
luck.
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
I
No,
still did it when I was 18, but
it's
I mean,
pathetic. But that's how the whole woke. It's wokes. We're not liberals. These are
well,
woke
I
left
mean,
people.
I don't know. I also gotta think, I was born in 94. So I was at a, technology was kind of shifting
Yeah, that's
all at
right.
once, right?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
grew up, learning how to type on a computer. That was the first, like, of
Wow.
my kind, you know.
Wow.
2000, like 2001, I was in kindergarten. So by then we were learning
Wow.
how to type on computers, send
Wow.
emails.
I mean, that's
It was the
crazy.
wave of the future, whatever. And I think with then MySpace came along and all
That's
that
right.
stuff.
Yep.
So I had the privilege of living life without the need of technology, and I
Yeah.
also saw it kind of transform, right?
Yeah.
And I think we've let people kind of let go with it too much, to the point where it's a great tool for education and to learn things, but I
Of
think
course.
overexposure, it
You could
dehumanizes, and it
Well, no one's having conversation. Even this, I wish I could sit with you at the table and have this conversation. It's still a very distant space. We're not touching each other. We're not seeing each other's
yeah,
eyes. It's
there's a
actually being
disconnect. That's a
it is.
disconnect for
And that's
sure.
causing a lot of the problems.
And not to get dark, but I was also watching a video on a woman speaking on trans ideology, and she was
Yeah.
saying that we're on the brink of social collapse
I believe
because
it. I
people
believe
are
it.
having identity
I
issues.
believe it. I can feel it.
And
I feel it.
I
Yep.
didn't experience a bad time during the pandemic because I was an essential worker. I was
Right.
working for Amazon and a delivery driver. My life
Right.
did not change. I was still getting up at 5 a.m. and
Yep.
working 10 hours and
Right.
coming home. So nothing really changed for me. But I realized it was very hard on
Yeah.
young adults.
Yes.
And I realized that this could also be a big factor in why
That's
they
right.
are identifying as this.
100%. I had a
Because,
kid. I had a kid at school, here at
right,
home. He
I'm
couldn't.
sure he was
He
affected.
struggled with everyone,
Hmm.
every kid. It was not easy going on there and having no disconnect, no play dates, no none of that. Those things are very important to young kids. They have to be around other kids, playing, doing all the. It really, I really believe a lot of this really amped up during
And
that
it's, well,
time.
yeah, because it's
Yeah,
narcissistic based.
that's
It's
right.
literally praising yourself as a god, almost like a
Totally,
deity. And
totally.
that's also not cool with me. I'm
That's it.
spiritual and I have my own faith.
Sure.
I practice Santeria,
Oh,
and
wow. Excellent.
my deities, I'm not above them. I am
That's
not
right.
above them.
That's right.
They created me, they helped me, they
That's
saved my
right.
life. I owe everything to them.
That's right.
And the reason why I may have masculine takes on things is because the deity that I'm baptized under is Chang'o, and he's
Okay.
literally
A dude.
macho man, 100%. Like, I'll send you pictures. He's
Awesome.
literally the epitome of what a man should be. And
Masculine.
I think that was just my spiritualness. Like, I don't want to,
But that
like,
doesn't make you not female. That's the other
no,
thing.
no,
That's
not
a
at all.
stereotype. Like, who
Exactly,
cares?
in my religion, they celebrate like that.
Masculine.
There's no such thing as
No,
that.
that's right.
They
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
you're picked. That's it. Like,
That's
you just
right.
get picked by the creator, and that's it. You're a boy or girl,
That's right.
and your spirit can be fluid. There's
But that's
androgyny.
spirituality.
Yeah, and
Yes.
androgyny is a thing. I don't
It
understand
totally
why
is.
those things gave birth to binary, and
No,
I
because
wish.
these kids are lost. They've created
Oh
this
yeah.
thing. They created this hole, and they're powerful, these kids. I saw it coming on Tumblr 10 years ago, and they were just
Oh my
destroying
God,
me.
Tumblr, I completely
Oh,
forgot. Block that out. Oh my
oh
God.
man, they came after me on Tumblr.
Oh
I'm like,
my
who
God.
are you
Yeah,
guys?
that was HQ for
That
a
was the
while.
beginning of it
I
all. And
remember now. That's where I
yep,
got most of my non-binary
that's
information,
right.
was from frickin' Tumblr.
That's right. And they
Oh
were
my
trying to
God.
get people like me out of the community so that they could take over, and I would never
Yeah,
let go.
I
And
was,
that's why they don't like me, you know that, because I'm not
yeah,
leaving. I'm not leaving.
no,
I was part of building this space, and you are not me, and I'm not you, and go and do your weird shit. And but that being said, I don't like what they're doing in the name
no,
of trans. They're doing bad things
no.
to people like you. And I care about you, friend, and I care about you young people a lot. And you know what? I will not stand around and let this happen without saying something. And I don't care if you hate. Do you think I
And
care if those young people hate me? Like I
yeah, no.
care.
At this point, I told a couple family members that I might be
Yeah,
doing this,
yeah.
and I said, you might, if they find me on the internet, whatever, but
They're
this
not
might
gonna say
happen.
anything. They're not gonna say it because they're
I
babies. They're
The last time,
babies.
I don't know, the last time I argued with somebody about some of this stuff, I had a couple DMs from a couple of those lovely girls. uh it was it was bad, but
They're horrible people.
but
They're horrible.
it was, I'm not afraid of them.
No,
I
of course
just,
not.
I feel bad for them, and
Yeah,
I'm terrified for them, because
yeah, yeah.
you don't want to know, you don't want to question a little bit. Like, you can still say what you are. I'm not denying you exist. I'm not
Nope.
denying that you feel that way.
That's right.
Can you just for 10 minutes watch a Buck Angel video with me? Like, can you
Maybe
just
they secretly do it.
listen?
Just secretly.
Listen.
They're
Listen.
scared. They're scared. So with that, V, we're gonna have to end because we're about an hour
Oh my,
in, and you are so amazing. Well, look, it went so fast.
I
It was
know.
crazy. You had so much. Oh gosh, I just really value you a lot, friend, and it means a lot to me that you reached out to me. And you know, you're gonna help somebody with this. This is a
I
very
hope
powerful
so.
interview, and
Yeah.
this is what people need to hear. They need to. You actually lived it, and now you're exposing it, and that means so much to me that you're willing to step up. Because that means you care. You actually
I
care not only about yourself, but other people.
Yeah, it was a huge decision to do this, but I'm really grateful to do it, and I hope someone get something out of
They
it.
will. I
Oh, yeah.
promise you. Now, everyone, please leave her awesome comments because she did step up. And if you have anything you want to push back, leave that too because she'll see those. And then,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
that's right. And then if you, I know that we're keeping you sort of anonymous, so we won't put any of your information. But if people need to reach you, they can reach you through me. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you. So thank you, V, and thank you
Yeah.
everybody for joining us. And I'll see you all on the live on Wednesday. And thanks again for supporting this channel. It means a lot
Oh,
to
yeah.
me.
I'm a member too. I'll be there.
Oh, right on. See you. Right on. Thank you so much. So
Yeah.
I'll see you guys all next week and have a lovely, awesome rest of your day.
All right.
So
Love you, Trampa. Thank you.
hold